Welcome guys, I'm Freddy and you're watching C7 TV. Today I'm bringing you something very special. I sat down and read all the patch notes for the new patch for Battlefield 3, and I really want to commentate and express my feelings about that stuff. If you didn't know, I'm gonna address firstly the USAS nerfing, and I don't think the nerfing of USAS is so big. I mean, it just like reduced a little bit the accuracy and nerfed a little bit the blast radius of the frag rounds, but the perspective that DICE followed on the next patch I found it kind of weird, because I realized that they didn't they weren't the patch is not centered in so much in nerfing guns as it is in buffing other guns. So let me check out some stuff, because the patch notes are really huge, guys, and I will really want to address some things. Let's say the M26 mask, they really buffed that like more effective, and it's really, if you can even use like a laser sight if you have the underbarreler, they really downgraded the foregrip, and they said that I can't find the notes right now, but it said that the foregrip right now it's not gonna be so effective, especially in long ranges. So and I saw that they actually buffed the AK-74M and the L85 as for less recoil and more accuracy. And the heavy barrel right now, they really buffed the heavy barrel also, and the flash suppressor. And I really liked flash suppressor, but the toll to use it was very huge. I mean, it really made the gun inaccurate, so it wasn't quite usable. But right now I'm seeing that it does not reduce the accuracy of the weapon. It's actually increases, reduces the recoil also, like foregrip or something like that. Also gives more, reducing the recoil more than the suppressor, because the suppressor reduces 10% the recoil. And the hip fire, it has a little toll on hip fire, because of the weight of the barrel is bigger, because you have a flash suppression on it, just to balance the hip fire and the accuracy increase. But I found that the flash suppressor and the heavy barrel is gonna be way more used right now. And I was checking out where is it? Wait a second. Heavy barrel, yeah. The heavy barrel, guys, has been the vertical recoil penalty has been reduced significantly, and you can actually use it in short bursts right now, as it originally was intended to be. Because heavy barrel was great for single fire, but like short burst, 3 bursts, I mean, you could use it in 2 bursts, but in 3 bursts that's all the recoil you shoot, so it was literally unusable. And another thing about the Assault Classic, they really changed the G3A3. I mean, it was so underpowered weapon. They increased the overall damage, the minimum range and maximum range damage, and they reduced the muzzle drift, the horizontal recoil, and it's really gonna feel like the SCAR for the engineer. So G3 is gonna be like the SCAR for the engineer. And they also buffed the SCAR, and that was really weird. They reduced the initial recoil, because the initial recoil means that the first bullet the weapon shoots, it has more recoil than the next ones that follow. And also the FAMAS clip, I think, was reduced to 25 bullets, and they made it actually really inaccurate. Also the L85 and AK-74, the initial recoil and the vertical recoil is way reduced to balance the weapons, low fire rate and accuracy, so it can be actually more effective than the high round RPM weapons like the AK. And they increased the initial recoil for the AK. I mean, it was kinda high anyways, but they reduced the aimed accuracy slightly for some reason. It's a very high rate weapon, so it's gonna be very difficult to control. But they said that it's gonna be accurate in the first bullet, and then at some point, if you spray and they really want I'm sorry guys, they really want to make players to stop spraying, so the AK is gonna be accurate, but at some point if you spray it's gonna be extremely inaccurate, that like the F2000 and the FAMAS. And K8 2002, I mean, it's one of our favorite weapons, and I don't think they changed so much about that. Nothing more. Like, it's gonna be, it's a weapon, a mid-range weapon. It's very good. I kinda prefer it over the other weapons. And on the SMGs, if you're an SMG fan, they actually, I think they buffed all the weapons. I mean, they reduced the accuracy and the UMP. They put up where is it? The AS Val, they put up like extended mags. PDW reduced the initial recoil, P90 reduced the initial recoil, PP19 slightly reduced the initial recoil. I mean, all the except the only SMG that didn't take any changes was the MP7 for some reason. I haven't used it, not even once, so I really don't know if you're a fan of it. Is it a good weapon? I don't know, guys. Tell me in the comments. And on the engineer weapons, M4 pretty much the same. They kinda increased the M4, not the M4A1, the M4, the vertical recoil, and they reduced the horizontal recoil to make it like for more of a long-range weapon than the M4A1 is, because it's like a burst weapon. About the AK-74U, because I really like that weapon. They reduced the recoil, but they lowered the maximum range damage because it did more damage. They buffed the SG553, they reduced the recoil. They also buffed the QBZ because it had like extremely high horizontal recoil for some reason, and they made it a very good weapon. And G53, they reduced the recoil there also. On the SCAR 8, they increased the damage at maximum range, so it's quite easier to shoot long range with the SCAR 8, and they really fucked up the long range and the hip fire on that weapon. And I think the patch is gonna make huge difference in the weapon usage. They also buffed all the other shotguns except for the USAS and the MK3A1. I mean, I think the 870 didn't take any changes. I think it's gonna be more used right now than the USAS. They increased the recoil, they reduced the total pellets from 12 to 9, and some great changes, guys. And I think like most of these changes are gonna make the game way better. And I really can't include all the patch notes right now, guys. These are the most important that made me really anxious to talk about it. Anyway, the other team here on the gameplay guys quit, and that was about it. Thank you for watching. Hadouken!